Extra credits. Yes, there are no gendered mechanics. And you said about your title? It's just how gender stereotypes limit games and players. How do you know about that? How do you know about that? Anyway, you disabled the ratings and the comments in this video of yours. How the hell are you going to talk about this if you disable the ratings and the comments? Oh, I know why. Because you you just want to preach. No gendered mechanics. True. But can you control what people have to play, wants to play, and loves to play? True that there's a statistic that there's a line there that there are women that plays puzzle games, that plays simulation games, and there are the ages out there on the upper side. If I wonder if I can dig that, is that men, men, young guys are playing tactics, not tactics, RPGs in general, first person shooters, action adventure games. It's true. But it's not about gender mechanics. It's not about gender stereotypes. It's about it's actually about the taste of people. But first, you're talking about no gendered mechanics, huh? Let's talk about game mechanics. So I have a definition of game mechanics here. So let's start with the definition. Game mechanics are methods invoked by agents designed for interaction with the game state. The different components of this definition requires further explanation. Methods invoked by agents define this approach to game mechanics, as it formalizes use of terminology taken from object-oriented programming paradigm, Weisfield 2000. In this appropriation of the term, object orientation provides a set of interrelations. I do not want to imply that the analysis of the source code of a game will reveal all of the game mechanics have been implemented as methods of classes, or that object-oriented programming should be considered as a default methodology for the actual production of computer games. There is nowhere that the definition of this game mechanic, the definition of game mechanic on what I've read, talked about gender, talked about sexuality. So how the hell did you come up with this one? Like really, no gendered mechanics. There's really no gendered mechanics. And you are going to say that how gender stereotypes limit games and players. You just contradicted yourself. You just contradicted yourself at this point, isn't it? Extra credits, isn't it? Really, you contradicted yourself by saying how gender stereotypes limits gamers and video games. You're talking about story. If you're going to talk about that, you should look upon the writings of the story, on how the story is written. And people, as much as I'm concerned, stereotypical writing isn't really a problem. It's just you people that have a problem. People seems to be okay with playing as Kratos. People seems to be okay to be playing as Dante from Devil May Cry, men and women alike. But I don't know why you're having a problem with this. Oh, by the way, it's not that gender stereotypes in game mechanics exist. It doesn't exist. If you're going to talk about the uh, the demographic of certain game genre to men and women alike, and how many people or how many men are playing FPS, how many women are playing simulation, how many men and women are playing RPGs, no matter what the subgenre is, sure, but it's only down to the taste of the people, not necessarily what the gender stereotype is. You get me? It seems like this is one of those things that you just want to preach. You just want to say that gender stereotypes limits games, and yeah, again, story, story, story and characters doesn't translate and doesn't doesn't really mean game mechanics. When you say game mechanics or gendered mechanics for that matter, it's a matter of executing and implementing and executing a certain element in a certain genre that you want to put it in. But no, I digress. This is fucking bullshit. You think by saying this, you can actually you're going to actually make games more inclusive. Take note, you're giving advice to game developers, aspiring game developers, and you're giving them this shit. What are we diving into gender politics in video games? What, since Anita Sarkeesian just got famous? Are you sure you want to dive into that route? Wait, or you already did. You already did. This is coming from the same group of people who lambasted on John Bain, who actually gave them the boost on where they are now. These are the same people who are so ungrateful, who are so high upon themselves that they think that they just want to talk about games like Matt Lees, and yet they are preaching and say, if you do this X and Y, you're a sexist, misogynistic pig. At this point, at this point, I'm really convinced that extra credits don't know anything about game development for that matter. And this is coming from a person who is just in his sweet time studying game development bit by bit. And I haven't even polished my writing yet. So extra credits, fuck you. No, seriously, fuck you. If anyone who is actually promoting gender inequality here, it's you. You really want this gender political studies, gender political arguments in video games. Who doesn't want that? Maybe you, maybe the people at GDC, or maybe the likes of Arthur Chu or Alex Liffish, Lifshit. This shit. Spread this around, and as much as possible, if you can reach this to extra credits, since I'm blocked, just share this. Their stupidity needs to be exposed. Anyway, I'm Homer, and you know what? I'm not going to procrastinate tomorrow, and I'm going to make a video about the vocal that Languager 3DS is going to have, since they're going to the same drop as Fire Emblem, only different. See you later, alligators.